Internal squabbles threatens Delta PDP's cohesion. And APC asks courts to disqualify all PDP candidates in Rivers State. This is Plus Politics. I am Mary Ann Okon. As preparation for next year's governorship election gathers momentum, a pall of uncertainty hangs over the fate of the People's Democratic Party in Delta State after Abuja High Court disqualified its flag bearer, Sheriff Oborevwori, from contesting the election. The emergence of the Speaker of the Delta State House of Assembly, Oborevwori, at the party's shadow polls in May sparked an outrage among some aggrieved members who headed to the courts to seek legal redress. Oborevwori was adjudged winner of the primaries held on May 25 in Asaba after garnering about 590 votes. But despite both camps claiming victory, the electoral umpire did not publish the particulars of any contestant. It is waiting for the outcome of the appeal to determine who will fly the party's flag in the election scheduled to hold on March 11 next year. Well, joining us to discuss and break this down is Ugagaoghene Ogheneyole, Deputy DG for More Delta Youth Project. Thank you so much, Ugagaoghene, for joining us.
Thank you and good evening. Good evening, my viewers.
Great. Let's start by asking exactly what is going on within the party. First, the party rejects the emergence of the Speaker. Now, there are those who are saying that automatically the person who had more votes right after him is supposedly the flag bearer of the party. Paint a picture to us of what's going on there.
Okay, what's going on in Delta State is nothing new in the political setting. It's a process of democracy. This is the joy of this is part of the things that make our democracy rich as Nigerians. First, I would say there is no crisis. If you say the situation in Delta State is a crisis situation, I think it's an exaggeration of the whole situation. What we have is a few persons disagreeing with some things, and it's normal. The party, first and foremost, went into a primaries, which is normal to select, which is the adopted mode of selection of our candidates. We went into the primaries in good time, within the stipulated time that INEC has put in place for the primaries. We went together as a party, and all the contestants were allowed to contest. In Delta State, no particular aspirant was asked to step down or anybody disqualified from the race. We got to the polls and the election was adjudged as one of the best, one of the freest and fairest primary elections that has ever held in Nigeria. And we had a candidate in the person of Sheriff Oborevwori, the Right Honorable Sheriff Francis Oborevwori, who is the current Speaker of Delta State, emerged from that primaries. We must also note first that as a party, none of the aspirants is in court challenging the process. No aspirant has come out to say that the process is not credible. So first, we are not talking about aspirants disagreeing on the mood of the primaries or the mood from which the process from which this candidate emerged. But an aspirant among them is challenging the eligibility of the candidate that emerged. Is challenging the results. One is not all his results, the secondary school results, on the account of name discrepancies. And of course, I would say this is a normal process. Even in this situation of disagreement, the party has not done anything that would insinuate that there is a problem in the party. All the parties involved in this situation are seen as family members, and as a party, the PDP believe that everybody has the right to approach the court when they feel when there is an issue that they feel that needs to be addressed. The man went to court, and the court also, in their wisdom, gave a judgment. But the party have said, the person in question have said, no, this judgment is, I'm not satisfied with this judgment. I'm approaching the appeal court to correct this judgment because the certificates I have are accurate certificates. They are my certificates. Yes, there is discrepancies in the names, but there are processes known to law that these discrepancies can be corrected. So when they have done that, we are waiting for the court to decide on the matter. And the party has not taken any decision on that. The party on its own is saying, we had a credible process. The process starts with the screening of these candidates. These candidates have been screened, and the party believe that from their process of screening, the person that are marked as the party candidate in the primary election is highly qualified, prominently qualified for this position. And the party is saying, it's also challenging that no, we did not circumvent any of the processes. Our processes were thorough. So you need to go back and look at the judgment and to correct whatever mistake that has happened have been issued. And that is where we are now. The party is not in any crisis. None of the parties have become. None of the parties is saying that there are no more PDP members. Nobody is saying that they are not going to support each other when this issue is resolved. Okay. Well, the only thing we have is somebody who feels that the winner is not qualified. And the winner of the primaries is saying, I'm prominently qualified. This is an issue before the court, and I will not go beyond that. But as far as the party is concerned, there is no problem in the party. To the extent that even in the party, both the people, the camp of the persons that are challenging these persons, the candidates' certificates in court, are saying that in every other position, we stand in the party. But for now, we will wait for the court to decide before we move forward.
Let me go back to the judgment of Justice Taiwo. Now, in his judgment, Justice Taiwo agreed with the plaintiff, Edevie, that the speaker was not qualified to contest for the governorship election because he supplied false and forged documents to the Independent National Electoral Commission. He also held that the PDP violated its constitution in the process of its Congress, which produced the speaker. Now, you're telling me that due process was followed, that the party in itself is not complaining about anything, that even those who have taken this matter to court stand by the party. It sounds a bit weird to me, judging from what Justice Taiwo had to say about this case that was presented to him.
First, it's the case in question is in court, and there are areas I would not want to delve into. But the question is, if you bring a criminal matter to the court, and especially accusing a particular party of a certain misgiving, there should be the position of the law that says that you should prove beyond reasonable doubt. You should give evidence and prove to the court beyond reasonable doubt that your claims are correct. In this instance, Sheriff has insisted that his result is his. He has gone further to write to WAEC to provide, because first they started with the situation that it's a forged certificate. And WAEC, who is the issuing body, has written and brought out the certified true copies of this certificate and say, yes, this person sat at so exam, his pictures, his photograph is in WAEC portal, his name is in WAEC portal. And some persons are saying, no, now what they are saying is that no, it's not the person that is in the picture. If you say he's not the person that is in the picture, he's not the person that wrote the WAEC, the onus lies on you as the person accusing him to provide the person in the picture. Because from what we have on ground, even as of today, the family of the man has said they don't have any other Francis in their family, and there is no other Francis Oborevwori in the Delta State as a whole. So what are we saying? He sat and wrote exam. His classmates have come to testify that he wrote exam. They sat for the exam. And then his principal come to testify that he sat for the exam. He used the same results to get his BSc, his master's degree. And this man has been using this name. Don't forget that when he was a counselor, as far as when he won counselor so many years ago, this same name, Francis Oborevwori, was used. In his primary school results, his name was used. In WAEC portal, the man's picture is in the WAEC portal. With his name, his name in the WAEC portal. Many people have discrepancies in name. But it's either two things. You either correct it by an affidavit, or if it's multiple discrepancies, you correct it with a deed book, which this man has done since 2004. And this man has gone to the appeal court to say, A, B, C, D, look at my result, look at the evidence. The issuing body has come to say, yes, they have this result, is authentic. So I don't think there's a big issue. All these court processes enhances our process in stabilizing democracy in Nigeria. This is democracy. Everybody has the right to go to court. But it doesn't mean that when you go to court, when you go to court, that you must be the person that is correct. And also, if there is no need, if the High Court must be correct at all times, if they don't have the propensity of making mistakes, there wouldn't be higher courts, there wouldn't be appellate court, and there wouldn't be Supreme Court. But even the law understands that the judge, the High Court being a single judge court, can err in their judgment. We have not said that they err in their judgment, but what we are saying, we are challenging the judgment because the man in question has the result, and the man is saying that the person accusing me did not go to prove that this result is not mine. It is not his duty to go and prove. Go to the issuing bodies and ask if this person is on the certificate. And the issue is beyond before the appellate court now. Okay. Sheriff Oborevwori came out to say he went to school. He has brought proofs beyond reasonable doubt that he has these certificates that are in question. And this person has been a councillor, he has been a multiple House of Assembly member. Okay. The person that we are talking about is a two-time speaker. And nobody doesn't come up all this time.
Let's talk about the screening processes that the PDP undertakes when it's screening whatever candidates for whatever positions. These processes are supposed to do some of these background checks to avoid these kinds of situations, raising its ugly head at a time such as this. Again, these are not outsiders. These are members of your political party taking your candidate to court. So this is not a political witch hunt of sorts. It's within the party. So how well would you rate the PDP's screening process before any candidate is allowed to run for any office?
May I also inform you that the process of screening that Sheriff Oborevwori went through is not only of that of PDP. There is a pro-ethnic group in the party, which they call GC23. It is an Urobo ethnic group, political pressure group, that we are canvassing that it was the turn of the Urobo, which are the Delta Central people, to have the governor based on PDP rotation process. And they set up their own independent committee that look at the aspirants they have from their tribe and screen them. Out of these aspirants, out of all the aspirants from that tribe, the 8 local governments in Delta Central, they screened these candidates, and the 3 names were published. The 3 names of the persons that were published, Sheriff Oborevwori was the second person on that list that were cleared. They went further to the party, and the party asked them to produce their results. You can't tell me that the party did not do their background check. The party have their processes of screening, and they have screened this same candidate, and the person, they have found the person to be eminently qualified to be the governor of Delta State. And today, somebody is challenging it in court. Yeah, it's normal. You have the right to challenge if you feel that you have doubt.
Exactly. Well, again, let me point you to something else. Now, one of the complainants in this particular case had brought up also the issue of the record with INEC that claims the date of birth to be June 19th, 1963, as the date of birth contained in the WASC certificate of 1999 presented by the defendant, which is November 12, 1979. This is a total discrepancy, which is 2 different dates of birth. So it's not just about the photograph of a person who's unrecognizable, but then it also has a discrepancy in the date of birth. So again, that's why I asked, what kind of screening and thoroughness is employed by the party? Now, you're talking about an ethnic or pressure group. A couple of things can be overlooked if I'm advocating for somebody to run for an office. I might overlook the fact that, I might not even look at the results. I might just say, this is the person we want. But then we're looking at the people who are saddled with the responsibility of making sure that these processes are thorough to avoid this kind of dragging that we're experiencing and taking this issue to a court.
Hello?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly now. So what I'm saying is that the situation, the argument now is not whether the certificate is forged or not. It has been proven that the certificate was not forged. It has proven that this person sat for the WAEC with these names that he has been bearing over time. It was proved, yet it has also been proven that in the WAEC portal, this man's passport photograph is there. It is left for the appellate court to look at the issue raised and correct whatever is the error in the lower court judgment. Because as far as we are concerned, the PDP have done a credible process, and the process is not even being challenged by anybody. And the person in question is eminently qualified. WAEC has proven that. Even some security agencies that were involved in the matter by the same person accusing us has done their verification. They have gone to the schools and they have confirmed that the certificates are his, that he attended those schools at those particular time.
I'd like to take your attention again. I like to be thorough here. Now, talking about this disparity in date and, of course, the documents, whether they are authentic or not. Now, you've said that they've gone to the school has said that these documents are not forged. But then, in the course of the investigation, certain students who attended the Oborevwori Grammar School and graduated in 1999, the same time where the speaker allegedly attended and graduated the school, they gave their testimonies voluntarily, and they gave this to the investigation team. Also, this is deposed to an affidavit. I'd like to quote that none of these students in the school remembered the attendance of the defendant. In fact, they never saw him at that school at any time whatsoever. They all graduated in 1999, according to this statement. The students, in their statement and affidavit, stated that the defendant was not at any time a member of their class up to the units that they graduated in 1999. So, who's lying now? Is it the students? Is it the school? What exactly should we believe in this instance? And this is somebody who's going to be the governor of a state. This might also not just, if not cleared within your party, we're looking at your elections come 2023. Could this not also be a tool in the arm of your opposition? Just a curious question.
In dispute. These issues were never at any point in dispute. Sheriff registered for the examination as an external student. Looking at Sheriff's age and everything, that was not his first sitting. His friends who are classmates in the secondary school have come to testify that we went to school, and Sheriff from beginning have stated, how many people in Nigeria pass WAEC at first sitting? Sheriff, it is not in dispute that when he registers as an external student in the school. And let me ask you, we all are in Nigeria, we write WAEC. If you register as an external student in the school, are you required to attend classes in that school? All you need to do is to take up an external lesson. All you are going to do is to take up an extramural lesson and sit for your examinations. People travel from different places. We have even working class people who register for examinations and they come from their place of work to write the exam. What is your business going to class? He's not saying that this is my first sitting. No, he came as an external student to register for the WAEC. And in his testimony, you could listen to his interview even before all these stories came about. He said it that he was doing business. When he started for the WAEC the first time, he didn't get it. He was doing business, and at a point he told himself, I cannot continue as somebody who will be known as someone who did not go to school. And he has to re-enroll his WAEC in Ugagaoghene Grammar School, where he sat for his examination as an external student. So whether you know him as somebody who was going from primary, he never told you that he enrolled from primary school to secondary school. His friends who went to the same school with him have come to say, look at the school we went to, we are the same school. The current sitting House of Rep member was his classmate in secondary school. That was not his initial secondary school. But he went to receive that examination to register as as an external student. And what is the problem with that?
Okay, let's come back to the party now. Again, like I said at the beginning of this conversation, this particular issue was raised by members within your party. So let's talk about the situation within the party. How well did the members of your political party embrace the winning of or the emergence of the speaker? Because again, this is not an outsider, I emphasize. These are members of your party. If this be an issue that's dragging on this long, what is the party doing to, one way or the other, bring all hands on deck to fight the opposition? Because of course the party wants to win that seat in 2023. Can you say with all certainty that the PDP in Delta State is united?
Yes, PDP in Delta State is very united. I want to make something clear. Does it not point something to you that they had more than 5 aspirants, about 7 or 8 aspirants that went in for that primary election in the PDP? And out of the 8 persons or 7 persons that went out for the election, no person have come to challenge the process. No person have joined in this issue. No other person have come to lay any complaint. None of them have decamped, including the sitting deputy governor of the state. All of them are in the party. And one person came up to say, he's not even saying that he's dissatisfied with the process. He is saying that somebody is not qualified. That is for the appeal court now to decide. The case is before the appeal. But as a party, we are united. As a party, there is no faction in the party. Nobody has come to say this is the factional chairman of any particular ward, including of the ward of the man that is in question. Nobody is saying that they are not going to support the party. The party is fully PDP. All of these members of the party are in the party attending the PDP meetings and working at their various wards to deliver PDP 5/5. The party is in good state. All we have is simple disagreement between few members of the party, and this disagreement will be resolved. Later, before the middle of next month, this disagreement will be resolved. We have had several issues like that. It is only even talking about party. It's only in the position of this governorship that we are having this internal disagreement between only 2 of the aspirants among 7 of the aspirants, and this will be resolved. But in every other position, the party is not having any challenge. Nobody is causing problem in the party. People have the right. We must begin to understand as Nigeria, in a democracy, that people have the right to approach the court when they feel that there are issues that need to be resolved. That does not mean that the party has a problem. The party has no issue with anybody, and nobody has issue with the party. The only thing is that the person who sued the winner joined the party in the suit, and the party came back to review. If the party accepts and does not appeal, that means the party is telling us that they did not go through a thorough process. The party is convinced that their process was thorough.
Okay.
And then they are going to say, no, look at what your judgment, look at it again, because we have done our own homework, and we are sure that we have clean slate. We have no reason to worry. And the party has said, the party have not said, chase one child away. We have not had any issue of suspension of anybody, even in this whole lab alone. But at the end of the day, the party is saying, let us stay with anybody. The court, of course, we must obey the rule of law. This is democracy. Okay. When the court decides, nothing will take this decision. As I'm talking to you, the party is not distracted. The party has also set up a reconciliation mechanism for those people who are aggrieved from the processes of different primary, those who contested the election and could not win. And the party is seriously reaching out to all stakeholders. The party is mobilizing at grassroots level. And I can tell you that as of today, Delta State is PDP and PDP is Delta State. And in 2023, Delta State will be PDP and PDP will be Delta State.
We appreciate you speaking with us on this matter. Ugagaoghene Ogheneyole is the Deputy DG for More Delta Youth Project, and he's a member of the People's Democratic Party in Delta State. Thank you so much for speaking with us.
Thank you so much.
All right. It's good to have you. Well, thank you all for staying with us. It's still Plus Politics. We'll take a quick break. When we return, we move now from Delta to Rivers, where the APC in the state has decided to drag members of the PDP to court. Well, they're asking that their candidates all be disqualified. We'll get to talk about it after this break.